This is the story of a boy named Arian. He was 10 years old, small for his age, with eyes full of dreams and a heart far bigger than most could see. Arian lived in a crowded neighborhood of a bustling city, in a tiny one-room home with his mother who worked long hours cleaning houses to make ends meet. His father had left years ago, and his mother, fragile but fierce, became both mom and dad in one. Arian loved going to school, not because of the lessons, but because of the school library. That dusty, dim room filled with books was his escape. He would sit on the floor between shelves, reading stories about space, warriors, and magical lands. Every day, after finishing his homework early, he would sneak into the library and lose himself in another world. But one day, something changed. His mother fell ill. Her weak body couldn't take the constant work anymore. Arian stayed home to take care of her, missing school, missing the library. The house was quieter than usual, filled only with the sound of her coughs and the creaking fan. He didn't say anything to anyone. He just cooked rice and lentils, gave her medicine from the small tin box, and watched helplessly as her strength faded. One afternoon, Arian walked to the pharmacy nearby. He stood outside, looking at the prices on the glass window. The medicine she needed cost more than what they had left for the entire week. He turned back home, carrying an empty bag, trying not to cry. And that's when kindness found him. Mr. Shah, the school librarian, was on his lunch break and saw Arian walking with heavy steps and an empty bag. He had noticed Arian missing from school for days and decided to follow him at a distance. He saw the little boy pause in front of the pharmacy, look at the prices, and leave. The next morning, Arian woke up to a knock on the door. He opened it slowly. It was Mr. Shah. In his hands, he held a paper bag with medicine, some bread, and a small note that simply read, "You are not alone." Arian couldn't speak. He just stared. Mr. Shah knelt down and said, "Your mother is going to be okay. I'm here. We're all here." That day, Mr. Shah took Arian's mother to the hospital. He paid for her treatment without telling anyone. The teachers collected some money silently. Neighbors who barely knew Arian started bringing home-cooked food. One woman, who rarely smiled at anyone, offered to wash their clothes. A mechanic fixed their broken fan for free. Arian watched this happen around him like magic. And for the first time in weeks, his mother smiled again. She held his hand and whispered, "People can be so good, my son. Never forget that." Weeks passed. She recovered slowly, and Arian returned to school. When he walked into the library, Mr. Shah was waiting with a book in hand. It was about a brave little boy who lived in a quiet village, who reminded people how to care again. On the first page, it read, "For Arian. A boy with the heart of a lion." Years later, Arian grew up to become a doctor. He opened a small clinic near his old neighborhood, treating people who couldn't afford help. And every patient who asked why he did what he did, Arian would simply smile and say, "Because once, someone reminded me I wasn't alone." Kindness doesn't always need grand gestures. Sometimes, it lives in small bags of medicine, handwritten notes, and the quiet love of strangers. It changes people. It saves people. And that is the kind of world we all deserve, a world where one act of kindness leads to another. Where we hold each other up, without asking why. Because in the end, it's not the big things we remember. It's the small moments when someone chose to care. Thank you for watching Story Sporut. If this story touched your heart, share it with someone who needs hope today. Because the story you pass on may be the light someone's waiting for.